Hi guys, now in this video I'm going to show you how I use black and white to create an accurate contrast for the overall flyer and the composition. Also, I'm going to show you how I use shadows for the Fanta and then also for the burger. Very easy method as well. And I'm also going to apply these glue as well to it. These are all simple to do. And then finally I'm going to show you how I achieved this beautiful texture. So without further delay, let's step into Photoshop, and the dimension you're going to be using is 2000 at this point, and then I'm going to use the height 2500. Okay, and then I'm going to set the resolution to 72. Now guys, as usual, if you want to print it, set it to 300 and also use a real measurement over here. I'm going to call it food poster, and then I'll leave everything basically. Let me change the color to color white, and then click on create. Also, you want to go to the view. Now you also know I always set my layers. I'm going to set it to 4 across board and click on OK. Now I'll try and explain one or two concepts, especially if you're a beginner, so that you understand the foundations of what I'm trying to do. This is almost like photo manipulation, even though it's no photo manipulation. So what I'm about to do is I'll drag in this platform and then I'll resize it in Photoshop. We'll try and then make it real, and so it has a little element of photo manipulation. Then that's why I am seeing this, and you really need to pay attention to this, because you're going to use these concepts a lot in your design, especially when somebody asks you to design a realistic artwork for them. You will need this concept a lot. Also, I'm going to bring in my burger as well. Okay, I want to bring all these stuff in there so that it becomes easy for us. Let me tilt it a bit. Okay, that way I can make the shadows very real as well. Okay, I don't know if this is enough. Maybe I should select both of them and then make them quite big. So basically that's what I'm trying to say. Also, you want it to be in the middle of the composition. Okay, that way it becomes real balanced. I'll put this one in a group. I'll call it platform. Now also, if you are at this channel and don't like grouping your layers, it's an abomination over here. Fanta. Okay, so burger, Fanta, platform. Okay, so this is it. Also, we like to bring in black and white. Now guys, listen very carefully. Black and white. The black and white allows us to be able to tell the contrast, the shadows, how we are able to match it together. Now you can see the darkest side over here doesn't match the darkest side over here, doesn't even match the darkest side over here. So that means that we need to work on it to make sure it is the same. The black and white helps us to do that. Now there are many concepts and many ways of doing this. I would like to reduce the dark side over here a little bit so that it matches the other one. So I'll go to burger, I'll go here, and then which one should I use? Maybe I should use levels. Okay, and then the place I'm going to reduce is this side. Okay, so you can see all of a sudden, no, it shouldn't affect the other one, so I'm going to clip it to it. Okay, so all of a sudden you can see how the burger changes. Alright, so it blends a little nicely, but we're not going to stop there. Let's go to Fanta as well. Let's adjust it also a little bit. You're going to give a curve, you're going to clip it to it as well. That way affects only the Fanta. Just drag it a bit, that's all, just a bit, that's all. Okay, and then let's go to the platform as well. The platform, I feel like we should boost the colors up a bit, so I'll go here and I'll go to this side of it, then I'll drag it down. Okay, so maybe 30 something is better. Just come down a bit. So I think that is better. I feel like now it looks quite good. Okay, now I'll take this off and it looks great. Now even though the colors don't, now you see the saturation that we have to work on, but we'll work on that one later on. We'll work on the saturation later on. So I can delete the black and white layer, and now what I have to do is find out how I'm going to really rectify the color correction. So I'll go to platform here. I feel like the platform, it needs a little bit let me clip this also to it. I want quick clipping mask. Okay, I feel like the platform should also have a little bit of orange in there, so I'll convert it to smart object, and then I'll go to filter, and then I'll go to camera raw filter. I just want to play with just a few sliders, maybe 2 or so. So I'll give it temperature around that. Okay, now I can feel the orange in there. Now this is food. Okay, food, the primary colors of food is orange, yellow, and then red. It makes it so beautiful. And then the highlights as well, let me boost it up to maybe around 18, or maybe something like this is better. That's all. Okay, so all of a sudden the orange in there is now showing. I feel like this is better now. And the next thing we want to do is add some shadows in there to make it more realistic. So the shadows, what I'll do is I'll come somewhere here, and then maybe let's create a new layer. Okay, and then I'll pick my brush tool. All right, and I'll set it to soft round brush, of course, and then caps lock off, and then let's just click here. Now that's the first layer of, I like to use simple, let's drag it on top of the platform. I like to use simple shadows, really simple ones. Okay, really simple ones. I don't like too complicated shadows. So you can see how I did it. That just solves the issue of the cook. You can do more to it, but that's enough. I'll duplicate it by clicking on Ctrl J, and then I'll drag it also over here. But this time I'm going to hold Shift and Alt, and then make sure the touching point of it is the most important part, the touching point of it. Okay, so now two of the shadows are rectified. Let's give it another shadow, but this time we want to work on the shadow that is casted on the ground. So around this side, you see, and then maybe I should reduce the opacity, maybe 80. Okay, this is enough. Okay, but if this shadow is like this, definitely it's going to also cast shadow on the cook. So definitely we also have to go to the cook as well. Now let's put this in the group, and then let's call it shadow. All right, so let's go to the Fanta, or did I say cook? Let's go to the Fanta, and then the Fanta, what we are going to do is we are going to give it a solid color. Give it a solid color. Set the color to color black. Good, and then we're going to double click here and set it to invert. Now we can go in there and then work on it the way we want it. So first we want to hide the touching point. It needs to blend with, you know, the shadow over there. Let's set it to color white. I click on the layer, the mask over here, and then let's click on that side. That's enough. That's enough. Now the touching point is hidden. Okay, so also I want to set this side to maybe around 10 over here, the opacity to 10. Okay, and then we want to brush in more shadows. That is just like that. We are done with it. Okay, now you can even bring more closer to the Fanta, more closer to it. Doesn't make any. And then let's go and then let's fix the shadow as well. That's the first shadow, right? Let's fix this first shadow as well. Good. Now can select these three and then try and keep it in the middle of the canvas. We also want to bring in the background to make it more realistic now. So let's drag it way down. Let's put these two in a group, and then let's call it PG. On the background, let's give this one a mask, and then pick our brush, set the caps lock off, increase the size, and then let's just set this side to color black. Okay, there, and then click on the mask. Okay, and then let's set the opacity. Let's set the opacity to 100. Keeps on doing that. All right, so we just have to hit there. We want to also move on with the text. So I'll click on my text tool and I'll type here, and then I'll type in burger. All right, and then I'll set it to still fish. Now if you do not have that font, I'm going to leave it in the description for you, so you can pick it up and then we'll use it. Good, and then Ctrl T. You want to resize it. You also want it to be very bold, and you want it to be italics. I found out that when it's italics, it's really way better. Okay, so maybe I should make it a little bit smaller. All right, so something like this. And we also want to make sure this side is 0, the tracking is 0, so that there can be enough spacing in there, and then we can see what is going on. Maybe we should come down and make it extra bold. Yes, this is good. So there's it. And now I want you to double click it, and then let's apply in a few layer styles. We are going to gradient overlay. Now I told you food has three major colors: orange, yellow and then red. So let's go to overlay and then let's try and fix in those colors. Any of those colors will work. FF9000. Okay, and then let's come here, let's double click it, and then A02600. Good. So now that is it. Okay, click on OK, and then we are going to click on reverse as well, align as well. We're going to use reflected. We want reflected. Good. And then the angle here, let's set it to 104. Really important. And then the scale, let's boost the scale to 117. Okay, anything around that side is good. And then you can see it's not showing over here, but you can see it at the tip here. So what we are going to do is we are going to bring it a little bit there. That's what we want it, just down here. And then we'll click on OK. Now we are going to duplicate it, and then we are going to name this one Delicious. And then let's reduce the size a bit. Also, you want to select both of them, and then you want to just tilt it like that. Let's make it a little bit bigger, not too big though, but a little bigger. Okay, maybe somewhere like this, and then let's drag it to that side. Good. And this one, let's change the colors a little bit. We are still playing with around the same colors, guys, just around the same colors, nothing much. Okay, so with this one, we'll go to this side, and then we are going to set it to FC4902, and then we are going to this side, we're going to set it to A02600. We're going to play with these two colors, and also we're going to make sure everything here is the same. Okay, but let's push it and let's see. Okay, we also want the dark side to come down a little bit, so the top one is going to be the red side. Okay, that is it. But we also want to come back to the Delicious. Okay, we want to add one more effect to it. We want to add inner glow to it to brighten it up. And so the inner glow, we are going to set this color to FF-C328. Good. And then that's inner glow, right? And then we are going to set this side to normal. We don't want any fancy thing. And then let's see the opacity to 100%. Okay. Let's softer. Let's set it to, not center. Let's set it to edge. Good. And then the choke, let's set the choke to 76. And then let's also set the scale to 4. And then let's see. I feel like we should change this one. We should change this one to what should we change it to? Let's change it to this. Good. And then range, this jitter, that doesn't really matter. Those two things don't really matter. Let's click on OK. Now you can see the effect on the whole burger thing. I like that already. Okay, so also we want to duplicate Delicious and then drag it here. We want to type 1 there. Nice. Now we could have used this font, but this font is very thin and very lanky, so could use impact regular for it, because it has a little bit meat to it, very bold, so we're going to use it. Good. And then let's change the gradient with this too. So go to gradient overlay, and then I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to click this side, and then the color that we are going to use is BA3400. We want it to be a little darker. Okay, and then we're going to set this side to 501604. Okay, so click on that, and then let's see. Okay, so it's looking good. It's looking good actually. Set everything here the same, leave everything the same, but maybe the scale we should send it down a little bit to maybe around 84. And then we can also leave it like that. You need to make sure it's a little dynamic, so let's add inner shadow, let's add inner glow to it. And then the inner glow, to what we are going to do is we're going to give it the exact same FF58 and then 16. Okay, good. And then opacity, set it all the way up. Noise, leave noise out. And then softer, let's set it to the edge as well. Okay, and then let's set the choke to 76. Good. And then let's also set the size to 6. That way it's very pronounced, people can really see it. Okay, we are also going here, we're going to set it to that, and then this ones we can leave it like this and then click on OK. So I feel like we are done with the text, so you can put it in a group now, and then let's call it text. So that is it. I want also the delicious to stick closer to the beggar, and then I want one to also come closer to them. That way we group it nicely. We don't want it to be scattered. Now let's bring in some smoke effect to make it more realistic again. Now all these things we are doing now is just to add dynamic to it. Let's make it more dynamic. Okay, the smoke, you want to drag the smoke under okay, I think here is good, so you can see it's on top of the text. That's good. Duplicate it again and then drag it there again. Okay, duplicate it again. Nice. And then this one, you want to drag it on top of the beggar. Good. And then drag it somewhere here. Duplicate it again. Nice. And then maybe reduce this one a little bit, maybe 50% or so. Okay. And you want to give it a mask, and then you want to make sure caps lock is off, reduce the size, and you want to mask under it. You don't want it to show under it. Okay, so let's call this one smoke, and then let's call this one smoke. Okay, everything neatly grouped and nice. We also want to go and then bring in some few elements. Let's bring this one, drag it into Photoshop. Okay, and then enter. You want to drag it all the way up. Let's click on our move tool and then push it somewhere here. We need to add some shadows to it. Exactly. So we're going to duplicate this shadow and I'm going to bring it somewhere there. That is for that. But we also need to give it some blur. So let's go to blur, let's go to motion blur, and then let's set, you can see the onion is falling this way, so we need to set it somewhere there. Good. And that's the angle, but the distance doesn't need to be too big like that. Let's set it to maybe 25 or 20 something. Okay, so maybe 25, or let's say 20 would do. All right, and then let's bring in the other elements too. Let's bring in this one, drag it in there, and then let's rotate it a bit. And then there was a lot of space here, so let's drag it here. And then let's hold Alt and drag this motion blur on top of it as well. Okay, now let's go and bring the other one, which is this one. Let's drag it also in there. All you're going to do is you're going to hold Alt and drag the motion blur also on it. Okay. Okay, so we can now put them in a group, and then let's call them veggies. This too. Anything that is fast food will be good. Okay, now even this one, I can click on Alt. Let's open this. You can click on Alt. No, we only need one. Delete one. We only need one. So I'll click on Alt and I'll drag this one on top of this, and just like that. Let's open it. I think we need to be. Let's push the distance a bit. Good. All right. So maybe I should put it inside the veggies as well. Doesn't make too much difference. Now let's add in some leaves too. Okay, more the details we add, the more richer it becomes. I'll push this one here. I'm not even going to blur these ones, but then I'll drag this one in there. Okay, I'll drag it here, duplicate it, drag it here, somewhere there. Okay, put it in a group and then call it leaves. Okay, so we are almost done. Let's add some glue to it, but before we do that, I feel like there's some spaces here we need to make it richer by adding the let's make it white, adding the background there. Okay, let's adding the background there. That way it looks richer. Okay, so instead of being just white, we just want it to be something else. Now we need to add glue, so I'm going to click there and I'm just going to pick color white. Alright, and then I'll just click the middle here. That's all. I'll set it to linear dodge. Now I'll reduce it. Click on my move tool and then move one here, duplicate it again, and then move it about. Now you can see just moving it about. That's all. Just moving it about. That's all. Just moving it about. That's all. Just moving it about. Just reduce the size of this and move it closer there, and then duplicate it again. Then let's make it like that. Now just that alone made it more richer. Let's name it glow. Okay, just that alone added more value to it. What you're going to do is Control Alt Shift and then E. Let's merge everything into one layer and then convert it to Smart Object, and then let's go to filter. Let's go to Camera Raw filter, and then let's play with the sliders. Alright, so we are done with this, but we don't want board to be too saturated. So what you're going to do is we're going to set this side to color black, opacity 100, and then click on the mask here and then just mask the board areas. Okay, we don't want it to be too saturated, so okay. Now in fact, let's double click it again and then let's add some vignette to it. Okay, a little bit. Okay, good. Okay, so that is it. Let's call it 1. Now I have a special gift for you, as I said earlier on. So I want you to click here, and then this is it. It's called set. It's an action. Okay, I want you to just go look for the action. There's it. Just double click on the action to automatically reflect in Photoshop for you, and then I want you to pick SKB flyer texture and then just click on this play button. Alright, but first you have to rename the file to 1. If you don't rename it to 1, you will not really get it. So rename the file to 1 and then click on it, and then you're going to have this work. And so guys, this is how you design something like this. Now if you love this video, hit the bell icon and subscribe to this channel. I love you all guys. See you in the next one. Peace.